First, though, an amazing success story.
People don't believe that they're worthy of $1 million or that they could ever be a millionaire. And I think we can. I think 99% of us could. And so I hope that if nothing else, people walk away with the understanding that they can and that they deserve to be wealthy.
Arlan Hamilton is one of the few black women to break into the boys club of Silicon Valley. At age 34, homeless and on food stamps, she launched the venture firm Backstage Capital, which invests in companies founded by women, people of color, or those in the LGBTQ community. She's invested in 200 startups, and her goal now is to create 1,000 millionaires over the next decade.
She talks about how almost anyone can become a millionaire in her new book, Your First Million, Why You Don't Have to Be Born into a Legacy of Wealth to Leave One Behind. And Arlan joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you're homeless on food stamps in San Francisco. Did you convince somebody to invest some money in you? Because usually you need some money to make some money.
That's right. After 3.5 years of being money, what I call being money, I did finally convince someone to invest, and they invested the first $50,000 to get me started.
Wow. And what do you think? You know, there's a lot of people out there asking for someone to believe in them. What is it that you think that you had that set you apart?
I had resilience, I had grit, I had tenacity, but the main thing was even when I was hungry, even when I didn't know where I was going to sleep that night, I made it a point to learn something every single day. And so when I met that first investor, I had a lot of information that she didn't have, even though she had a lot of money. And so I was able to give her information and trade that for capital.
And so what did you do with the 50,000? How did you turn that into $1 million?
So the first 25,000 I invested in someone else, and the other 25,000 I was given to invest in myself and set up shop. And then I went from there, and I went to investors one after one after one. It was an uphill road, but I ended up raising over $30 million.
Now, you say almost anyone can be a millionaire. What is the key that people don't know? What are you telling people that's the secret?
That our lived experiences matter more than your education or what sort of wealth you were born into or not born into. That your uniqueness can help you identify an unmet need in the market by having your own pain points. There are certain things that you know should be better, and you might be the person that helps create that product or service that then goes on to you can monetize that.
And so give us some examples of a service that someone could come up with out of nowhere that people would want to pay money for.
Well, if you think about maybe a mother who has more than one child, even just one child, they're known multitaskers, right? So they could teach you how to organize. They could teach you how to multitask in your business, and it could translate. I've seen that happen before. I've seen all types of coaching, all types of courses online, different things over the last 3 or 4 years that have really come out from people who are doing what they consider ordinary tasks, but teaching other people who don't already know how to do that.
How do you know when to quit? I think I would be a great singer, but I am a terrible singer. So, I mean, it's like, when do you know that you're looking in the wrong place as your area of expertise? What do you tell people?
For me, I used to sort of chase dreams, and I would run towards dreams that I had. I wanted to be on the road and work in live music, which I ended up doing, things of that nature. But what happened was that the investing in underestimated founders became a calling. So I think you look for those signs that something is a calling rather than just a dream that you're chasing, and that will pull you in the right direction.
I think you talk about something about a Kickstarter campaign, which I think we're all familiar with, but this sort of tailors it so that people who are giving the money have a piece of the action so that maybe they can make something back. Am I understanding that right? And can anyone set something like that up?
Yeah, so this is a regulation crowd fund that was created in 2012 by the Obama administration. And it allows anyone, almost anyone in the United States who's an adult, to invest and own private companies, pieces of private companies. So it's like Kickstarter, but they're on different platforms like Republic or WeFunder. And you set up a campaign. You go through a lot. You go through a rigorous campaign onboarding. But yes, almost anyone can invest $50, $100 and own a piece of a private company.
So, Arlen, you have a book signing in Chicago coming up?
I do on Thursday with Semicolon Books. I'm very excited about that at Haymarket from 7 to 9 p.m.
Well, that's right. Haymarket House for Semicolon Books this Thursday evening. You can go to semicolonchai.com for details, and you can get more at Arlen's website, social media, and podcast. And her book is Your First Million. Arlen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Arlen.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.